Hello and welcome back to Forge of Champions. We are here at the semi-finals in the fourth qualifying tournament as Wind and Rain versus Enclave. And Wind and Rain were able to get themselves a miracle upset and take game 1 versus the first seed at Forge of Champions.
Yeah, series got spicy.
Yeah,
real
absolutely.
quick.
I mean, the Akali first pick blind was, I think that was the point where it got spicy for me. And then it continued to get spicier.
I mean, Akali's always a fun pick, right? But definitely worth blind picking. Counter-picked really well. And then the whole series as a whole, especially based on our expectations of Enclave taking it relatively comfortably, just completely got turned on its head.
So, talking about spice, which spice girl would Akali be? Would she have a new spice? You were talking about this before we came on air.
I talked about this
I thought
last
I'd just
week.
catch you off guard there.
This was last week. I was saying that the Spice Girls should be named after actual spices, which I still think is true. I feel like she could fit in as cinnamon.
A cinnamon.
She's cinnamon.
Orcs, what do you think she's?
I'm going to pass on that question.
Ninja
as we
spice.
move into
Paprika. Yeah.
we are going to pick some bands. We have seen the size being switched up. Interesting to see what happens as a result of that. I think Enclave definitely had a favourable draft there. Were they going a similar direction? Because you saw they banned away a lot of priority picks from the side of Wind and Rain. They got rid of that LeBlanc, they got rid of that Zillion, and bans are starting the same way once again.
And the big thing is, we've seen a lot of Morgana priority, and we expected more Morgana priority because of the nature of the meta right now. Akitsune doesn't care.
Yeah.
Akitsune will pick what he always
That's the
picks
thing,
and do really well.
You know, Vel'Koz does really well into Morgana.
Yeah.
You just pop the shield and poke her out. So it's not going to have as much prevalence in this series. And I feel like Enclave has to respect that because I think similarly the Tahm Kench isn't going to be quite as useful up against Akitsune unless you know what he's picked already.
Yeah.
Well, LeBlanc, Zillion, Yasuo, and Caitlyn. Sorry, I had a mind fart there. Pretty much all the same bans.
Yeah,
It is literally the same ban
so
phase.
far.
So if this is a Pyke ban, it is literally the same ban phase. No.
They ban Akali.
Okay.
Yeah, Akali looked so devastating last game. They had to get rid of
I
it.
mean, it was the strength.
Yeah.
Like I think Eren was this was kind of like the hope for Enclave in that game. Like he got fed early, and then it was like, what can he do? What can he do? And he goes 1v5 like 2 times in a row.
I
like,
wouldn't mind seeing Monkiz take away the Gragas from Nolte here because that has been a lot of their comfort.
Yeah, and it does offer them the flex. The thing is, if you take something like the Sejuani, it is shoehorned into jungle unless you're doing something really crazy. But you can take that Gragas, and as you see, they do take it. And then we see a trade-off of 80 carries. Fact, very comfortable and confident on this Jhin. Ashe coming out from Bendy, which I think is such a good pick. You were dealing with things like this Vel'Koz. If you have an Ashe, you're able to punish him because that freaky tentacle dude standing in front of you isn't going to be so freaky after you get stunned by a giant arrow.
Yeah. Comes back to that squishy point. Is quite a lot of engage actually already picked up just with the Ashe Gragas. Like there's so much engage you can make happen here. And like they've only got 2 picks. There's Nolte will just take Monk as his champion, so they have a gentleman's agreement. Both like, I'm gonna play my tank, you can play your tank.
Yeah, and we actually see Kerberos coming out with the Camille again, and this is gonna put Enclave in a decision. Do they counter pick top, or do they pick up a support here, or a mid lane and ban away counters?
I think it would be smarter for them to ban support or to pick support because you can still hold on for the counter pick mid as well.
Poke ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have to ban like the Vel'Koz Morgana here, because obviously you don't want to give Akitsune the Vel'Koz again. Like you said, you would not want to play the Tahm Kench, even if you got an Ashe this time.
I'd
it's
expect
be
a
safer.
fast Vel'Koz.
Yeah.
Fast Vel'Koz ban, yeah.
Well, it's actually been
what I'd actually love from Akitsune straight after that is to go for Brand.
I think the
it's
argument...
such a him champion.
I think
this
the
is what he'd
argument
play.
you can make here is that they are going to ban it, but the argument you can make is they are so much better equipped to deal with the Vel'Koz. The problem was before, so many engaged AD carries got banned. The Jhin was on the other side, the Ashe and the Varus were banned away. You couldn't punish the Vel'Koz. Even if it was picked here, Ashe is going to be capable of punishing something squishy like that. So even if Akitsune does take a brand, they really have a chance to engage in it, particularly with a Gragas, who has a lot more range between his body slam and his explosive cast than a Sejuani did.
Well, Pyke's going to get taken away as well. One champion we didn't actually talk too much because he was banned away last game, sorry. And Akitsune, you know, suits his playstyle again. You know, very aggressive support. Likes to just deal the damage. He's like a kind of carry support.
I did see his Pyke up against NSG, and that was the game they lost. I wasn't completely sold on it, but I can understand it does have a good amount of threat against Tahm Kench, particularly when you've built up a lot of grey health, you can just execute him, even if the shield is procced, because it is just a whatever health you're on, you're executed. They do ban away a lot of these top link counters for the Camille, but Rifty, ever confident, decides to take the Darius into Camille matchup.
I am so pumped.
I think this is a much better pick than the Rumble for Rift. And, you know, we saw him get a lot of big plays on this Darius so far.
And this
4G champion.
This 1v1 in the top side is now not so like, okay, Camille's late game just smashes. It's actually like, it's still fairly even as you move later on.
Yeah, no matter how late you get, if you get outplayed by the Darius, you can still potentially use it. He has the burst to all in.
Outplayed as in he autoed you a bunch of times, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, Zyra's going to get picked up for Akasune. Get himself the mage. So once again, a lot of poke, but like you said, there was squishy bot laner, and with the engage they have, it could be scary.
I mean, the big thing for me is you now look at, we've gotten massive lane priority all over again.
Yeah, and I think one thing you can do here is, we saw it earlier today, done in Korea, is that you take cleanse on both your bot laners. And the thing is, you'll have so much poke between a Jhin and a Zyra. The only threat from the other side is that engage. You both take cleanse, that's now off the table.
Wind and Rain have just picked the same comp. They swapped out what was taken or banned from them, but Sejuani offering the same thing as Gragas in that game, Zyra trying to offer the same thing as Vel'Koz.
Yeah,
we're really taking a step back here with Lissandra and Azir. It's been a while since I've seen this matchup.
I mean,
like
Azir,
a year and a half.
Azir's seen a lot more play recently. I mean, especially with the likes of Ares just being able to sit back and poke forward. I'll be interested to see whether they go for Comet now that that's been taken away, or even Lethal Tempo is very fun.
Lethal Tempo is very good.
Very funny.
It's very good on Azir.
Picked into Lissandra does very well just because it outranges so hard. Lissandra is a mid-range mage, and Azir is someone who can farm safely. You can't threaten him with engage that much because he has that cleansing, he has some mobility. Really, it's a safe laning phase for a massively scaling champion. I don't think Wind and Rain are going to, although they've picked a very similar comp, I don't think it was in the situations that made it so great last game. Yeah. They're going to have to do a lot more if they want to ensure a victory in this game too.
I think what I'd be looking at from Wind and Rain's point of view is shore up that early game, because that was not particularly clean. You managed to pull ahead because your comp was way better and you executed on it in the mid game, but so much easier if you use your lane priority to just push forward.
And the thing is, we've seen Akasune hasn't changed it. He's going for this ignite. And I think this is a massive mistake, honestly, because you're not playing this lane for all in pressure. You're playing for poke. And if one of those arrows lands onto him, he is so unbelievably dead. Such a vulnerable champion, this Zyra. Very immobile, very squishy. I think this was a bit of an... Again, we saw overconfidence from Enclave in Game 1. I think this is a bit of overconfidence coming out from Akasune in Game 2. I don't think we're going to see this Ignite have much use, but I definitely think we're going to see some dead Zyras by the end of this game.
It's going to be a very exciting game coming into this. Obviously, Wind and Rain have forced Enclave's hand here. You know, they're one game away from making the finals for the qualifying tournament tomorrow. And Enclave, you know, we discussed it in just before the break. They need this win. If they get this win and then XL lose the next game versus Misfits, all of a sudden Enclave have qualified to EU Masters.
They've guaranteed that spot.
While it's all about the money, it's all about the pride. It's all about the win. Here at Forge of Champions, we're not money. We're not money people.
Yeah,
we're all about pride.
That's why we all work voluntarily.
Yeah. I've got something to tell you after this.
Yeah, I got some bad news for you, buddy.
Yeah, you're fine. Well, I've lost my point now. Basically, Enclave want to win, and they want to go to EU Masters. They want to represent their country. They want to represent United Kingdom.
Very valid point.
Not Ireland, because they're not represented by... Oh, they kind of are, aren't they? It's a UK and Ireland, actually, isn't it?
It's technically the UK and Irish seed, yeah.
How many Irish players / teams?
Well, NSG nearly beat Wind and Rain.
Yeah, they could have been looking at the
if Wind and Rain beat Enclave by proxy, they almost beat Enclave, which is the number one team.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, that means the Irish are a really good team and like region.
Yep. I think we've got to the bottom of it.
I could enjoy that logic stretch.
Probably clapping right now. Like,
it's a good stretch of logic. But let's pull back to what's actually happening right now. So
no, I want to be silly.
I want to follow up crazy trends.
I actually want to, like,
let's follow the more immediate crazy trend.
Because
Wind and Rain. Wind and Rain is there, though. I mean, the Teemo mug.
Yeah, but it's not on display. Oh, look, you got
Panda.
Yeah, he's got a Lee Sin.
Badger Teemo, actually, as well.
That's great. Oh, wait, that's upside down.
I feel kind of...
So the logo on the other side, it's like...
You're supposed to flip it that way, yeah.
Why was I given this? These just set out when we got here.
I got Blitzcrank as well.
Why was I given... But you got different ones. I have both of mine on Mew Mew crying. Is this a hint?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big...
Yeah, it is.
You're a big old baby, man.
Take it as you will.
There you go. You can have the Lee Sin one now.
No, I kind of like the matching, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting all worked up for nothing. Look at that. But yeah. You too can own these mugs over at the Riot store if you'd like to pick them up.
I assume they're for sale.
Yeah, I think they are.
Not these these
Not these
ones
particular ones,
specifically.
no.
Yeah.
Although,
unless you could sign them and then.
if you make a really, really good Photoshop, I saw the Shamrock Malphite one in the break.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. But if you make like an insanely good one, I will steal this and not tell anyone, and then I'll give it to you.
That's a great idea.
Next live event.
Aside from announcing it, that was a solid plan.
They're too busy. They don't know what I'm doing.
No one actually listens to him.
Actually, as a side
the only problem is it might be broken because I got to fly it back. So I might just steal the Blitzcrank rubber mat. It's rubber. It's quite nice.
Yeah,
very good.
Means it's not slidey, as you can see.
Did anyone learn some Spanish from the last game, by the way?
No, I didn't. I learned squat.
Oh, there was a great assassinato double.
No.
Double? I don't know how you pronounce double in Spanish. Assassinato was great. Assassinato.
That's a good one. What does that
that's
mean?
one thing. Is
I assume kill.
it's like Spanish. You know, like
It's
Spanish
kill.
football players have so much hype. Like, I have Spanish football commentators, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's how we should cast. You know, be like, oh, kill, pentakill.
I don't know why you made them all much higher tone, but sure.
I mean,
bendy kill!
They sound more like Speedy Gonzalez than actually
We're going down a real dark path
Oh.
here, like a real bad path. Let's focus on the game.
oh
And
yeah, we have
not-
a game we cast.
Not our abilities of commentating, and not the fact that we're nowhere near as hype as the Spanish.
Hey, you're the
cast-
play-by-play.
The Spanish play-by-play casters take it to like a level that I don't think is possible for anyone else in the world. They
Maybe
go
it's the language.
so insanely
Yeah.
hype. It's awesome.
The
I love
the
watching
Koreans are
Spanish
actually
cast.
pretty good at it as well.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
Koreans
yeah.
are pretty good. Oh, man,
Like that.
I got
with,
stuck with this damn English.
that clip, that's the CLG clip with the you know the famous one where it's like, oh, double it.
Yeah.
It's a good one. But let's stop talking about other casters and how much better they are than us.
So off topic.
Yeah, we've really gone. Who's in this game? Lissandra?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
let's try and recite the comps. So
Yeah, go on. See how well you can remember it.
Camille, Sejuani, Lissandra, Jin,
Yep.
Zyra.
Yep.
On the other side, it's Darius, Gragas, Azir, AD carries Ash, and support is Tom. Got
There
all
we
of them.
go. All 10. 10 for
Perfect
10.
on time.
As we load through into the second game. The fourth qualifying tournament semi-finals. The teams, they're starting up their blue buffs. Everyone's already in lane. You don't have to watch any of that nonsense.
Yeah, we saved you a minute 45 of
Yeah, you
watching the
Yeah.
early game, and instead you could see our beautiful faces as we talked about nonsense.
You can still see them, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just smaller.
As we continue to talk about nonsense.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. And I'm the mid laner here, so I should probably be the one explaining this. But gentlemen, explain to me the Azir-Lissandra matchup.
So the thing with an Azir is that obviously you can pop your soldiers down, you can consistently auto-attack, you're not really as reliant on cooldowns. You also outrange Lissandra, so you're going to have that shove in the early game, and as you can see, you're able to shove and provide some poke, and there's no real way for Crossman to fire any poke back, and again, difficult to shove in response.
And we talked about the Airy, we talked about the potential lethal tempo, actually gone into the Meteor, so it's going to be more about like Q damage and the initial trade.
Yeah, we did say Comet was also the likely thing, and while I enjoy lethal tempo, it isn't generally taken on him just because you want the quick burst with the current iteration of Azir.
Yeah, something to note is we're seeing press the attack come out from Kerberos. Obviously, wanting to have more melee range damage up against Rift, not going for the early trading, but going for the potential 1v1. And then on the other side, we're seeing Monk is go for that electrocute on Gragas. So this was nerfed. The cooldown in the early stages was reduced, which is obviously a buff, but the damage was cut significantly. And on a jungler, this isn't favorable for you when you want to have that big burst coming into a gank.
Well, already Rift starting to shove Kerberos in. Kerberos about to catch a big wave, though, as it just crashes into his turret. Bot lane, a bit more even now. Now they've got that Ashe. Now they've got a little bit of poke they can lend. Not, you know, they don't need the time they need on something like the Kai'Sa.
And they also have the TP as well, so assuming that the trades go relatively even, you can just get Bendy back to lane that much easier, early on at the very least.
Yeah, and I mean, they had the TP last game, but I just think the short range of the Kai'Sa was just useless in a matchup like this. I think as well that there's a lot less vulnerabilities against the Zyra as a Tom. then I mean, other than that,
Hado just takes a lot of damage.
I'm saying this, but the thing is, if a Zyra lands a root onto your AD carry, you can then eat them up, and that viably stops a lot of the burst. Whereas with the Vel'Koz, you know, you can't really eat your AD carry out of every single one of the laser ball things.
Which is actually kind of why I like the way Akatsune is playing it. He's going for all the damage onto Hado, so Hado has to deal with it and can't just save Bendy from it.
Yeah, now you are
already been both his health potions on the side of his tarn.
Uh-oh.
Kerberos actually going to be able to hook shot. That was a great interrupt. You are going to bleed out as Rift finds first blood.
Oh, just what a play for Monk. So much confidence. And the thing is, with a hook shot, you are able to easily have safety and Camille in the early game. Not if it gets interrupted. Confident play and rewarded with the first blood on this Darius, who is already ahead.
You are also seeing Eren now with his mana problems starting to come up. This is one of the problems Azir has. Is once again, we're going to see this replay as Kerberos. Got to make the hook shot out.
And I mean, it's completely understandable. You don't want to just randomly burn your flash here. Kerberos confident in hook shot, but boom. Great interrupt by Monkeys. And honestly, I feel like you shouldn't have burned the flash at this point. You knew you were dead. Rift uses his flash, but honestly, I feel like the bleed would have been enough there. Either way, he secures the kill for himself.
Didn't want to risk it.
It would have been close with the health pot running.
Yeah.
But this way, secures it, and well played.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen Monkeys playing a very aggressive Gragas here. He's gone for the electrocute. Likely going to go towards those, the AP jungle item, the Runic Echoes. Confident in putting out the early pressure. And that's the difference between a Sejuani and a Gragas. Gragas has a much more high pressure early game. The Sejuani is a very strong tank in the later stages. But in these early levels, the fat man can put a lot of work down.
Now we're seeing Bendy build towards that Blade of the Ruin King. Nothing too unsurprising there. Probably going to get the Hurricane second as well.
I mean, that's a big thing, is that you can now pick up some sustain in this lane. You're going towards a Blade of the Ruin King, as the standard is for Ashe, as opposed to the Kai'Sa, whose standard is the Storm Razor. So you have some sustain already in this laning phase, and they've handled it a lot better. You see Nalty walking up, but just going to take that Blast Gun and get out of dodge.
He's only level 4, so it's quite a scary place to be at the moment. Doesn't have that ultimate available, but he's okay. Going to be able to make his way out. Eren now level 6 on the Azir, so we have to see when the plays are going to come down, what his play is, whether or not he's just going to continue to shove and poke Crossman. Crossman 8 CS down to Eren now.
Yeah, and struggling in HP, and you can see, again, top lane and mid lane are really having difficulty on the side of Wind and Rain. They pick the same champions, but they are in very different matchups, and I would argue Enclave have put themselves in a much more favorable position across all 3 lanes.
We are seeing a deficit coming in the top side, but Crossman looking for the play. Eren is going to use himself the ulti back to clear himself out, cleanses away, and he will be A-okay as Fax continues to try and poke Bendy and Hado underneath their turret.
Yeah, good moves though from Wind and Rain. This is what you need to do against the Azir. He has the mobility, he has the cleanse, he is hard to kill on that first gank, but he's now without any summoners. Next gank should be a guaranteed kill to the side of Wind and Rain. They just need to wait until they have the ultimate from Crossman again. Or even potentially just an ultimate from Nalty.
Oh. Traps are there, forcing a bit of damage down, but Bendy and Hado pretty content. You know, you hit on that sustain they now have in this lane. Going to be able to heal up as junglers have found each other out, and actually Eren is also first on the collapse. Is going to get the backup of Rift as well, and Nalty now forced to flash over the wall to make sure he gets out, but looks like there might be a bit of a swing around here as Crossman has entered into the fray. Just going to have this blue buff stolen away from Enclave.
Which is huge. We saw how low Eren's mana was getting. He was using it to provide a lot of pressure. He's now just picked up a blue buff from the enemy side. Going to be able to move back mid and almost 15 CS ahead already. And you can see the power of these lane matchups Enclave have picked. We questioned their draft in game 1. Wind and Rain had a good draft in response to what Enclave picked, but they didn't really change anything. Enclave didn't. They're in a good position right now.
At least for Crossman, it's not the end of the world losing the blue buff, because I think it's every 9 or 10 seconds you get a free spell on Lissandra?
I think it's longer than that, but it shortens every time you land.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
it ticks down quite quick.
So his mana has been fine, but the problem is, because Eren got that blue buff, they're now going to be able to stagger the blues.
Oh, Hado actually taking a serious amount of damage. Fax with a 4th shot, not going to be able to make it connect, but does have that curtain call, and he's going to throw it down. See if he can actually find the shotters. We're just going to see him shooting. Not one's going to be enough to get the damage.
Well, we don't know, but he hit some of them. They didn't die.
Eren doesn't have cleanse. Crossman does have ultimate. Gonna pin him in place with the Frozen Tomb. Aaron's starting to take a bit of damage, but has got the Sand Soldiers up. In comes the Shuffle. Ooh. Forces him into Monkeys on the belly slam and connects the kill. Now Nolte over Winter's Wrath is able to answer back as Rift, trading with Kerberos in the top side. 1-for-1 mid.
I just got a question. The communication coming out from Wind and Rain. Crossman's like, hey, you're right here. I'm going aggressive. And then it looked like Nolte was going to come in, but he waited too long. Good play from Aaron punishes, but I mean, once again, we're seeing the bot lane tower down already. We talked about how the Ashe Tom might be a bit better at handling the Jhin Zyra, but clearly not. They've already lost that bot lane tower, and it's meant that
Rift
kept things close.
Okay, he's taking too many tower shots. He got stunned up. Did have the Noxian Guillotine, not going to pull the trigger, but Monkeys is there with an explosive cask. Has got the help of Crossman making his way up. And we talked a little bit about the mid lane CS deficit, 56-72 earlier on in the game. I want to have a little look at this top side.
Yeah, that's
40 CS up.
Rift is someone who's been all around in the UK scene for a long time. He's played up against everyone from Maxlaw to your average D5 mid lane, top laner who's played. But here he's showing his veteran status against Kerberos.
Oh, we're going to see this play once again.
Crossman's damage. He just walked down. He just walked away from the play. Crossman going too aggressive. Good ult, catches him even after the flash. And then Monk is there for the follow-up. Yes, Nolte comes in. Why wouldn't you hear about 5 to 10 seconds earlier? I really don't know. At
least the good news is both of the tanks got the kill and not any one of the carry mid laners.
Yeah.
You know, both your mages are pretty content.
But the unfavorable thing is that you burn that flash from Crossman. And considering Eren had no summoners there, he now has his cleanse again. We talked about that window in which you could punish him. That's no longer available. You missed your opportunity and ended up trading 1-for-1 on it.
And Eren's actually building a lost chapter, so building towards Luden's Echo on the Azir. So typically Azir kind of hits that power spike once he's got that Nash's Tooth. It's going to be slowed down by the fact that he opted into this build. I wonder if the Ludens comes through first, or if he just gets the lost chapter for mana sustain in lane and then goes into the Nash's Tooth. Yep. Or if he just completely negates the item and goes for that kind of more bursty and just rely on the Q damage.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential thing is you don't have to do that much sustained damage when you look at the composition of Wind and Rain. Bar Nolte, no one's that tanky. And honestly, getting a big amount of burst on these squishy targets might be more valuable.
Ooh. Strangler forms into a deadly flourish onto Hadover and loses a sliver of health. As Fax and Akasune now we're able to take first turret blood on the bot side. They're now looking to continue that pressure on the top side as Kerberos actually is getting dove here. That's going to be an ultimate thrown down. Curtaincool's going out. There's fights all over the map. Hado goes down. It's a double kill to Lissandra.
I mean, you get both the kills from Wind and Rain on the top side. Great. You're going to be able to secure this tower, but the Azir is just pushing mid lane. You lose Kerberos on the bot side, and now this Darius is so huge in comparison. I mean, you have to make the play from Wind and Rain, but I feel like Kerberos had to respect the chance of a play on the other side of the map. He didn't. He's punished, and now it's a fairly even trade for both teams.
Is it Triforce Darius, or are we going to see the Black Cleaver Darius?
I think very likely to see the Triforce, considering how squishy Kerberos is and how much you can punish the matchup.
180
The question is, what does Kerberos build? I feel like maybe a GA, you know, stop feeding a bit.
Slide, glide, the turret comes out, and Eren looking to turn this around onto Nolte. He's still alive for a little bit as Hado gobbles up one. Nolte somehow up, and now Eren turns it around. Fax is on the run, does get slowed down by the cask, but is going to be able to make his way out. And with this turret now, Enclave have somewhere to hide underneath.
Yeah, it seems like Nolte just forgot what Azir can do. The turret got placed down after clearing Wind and Rain's own turret, and it ended up turning around massively in their favor. Now seeing Enclave, although it's only a slight gold lead, they've equalized on towers, and they definitely have the control of the map right now. And the thing is, if you talk about how that gold lead isn't slight, the gold lead between the top laners, the difference is monumental. Nearly doubled Kerberos' CS and got 2 kills over him. Not a great situation to be in.
Well, he's got that Sheen finished up as well now, into just the Tiamat. Kerberos really struggling, and what we know from Camille is, you know, Camille likes to build a lot of these kind of components from multiple items. It's going to be a long time before we see Kerberos actually finish up an item. He's 2 levels down to Rift. He misses the apprehend, but the crippling strike comes through. Kerberos gets a hook shot out and over the walls. Rift flashes over and dunks him down. The bleed will be enough. Kerberos goes down. 3-0 on the Darius.
And it's just a complete confidence play coming out from Rift. You are seeing a fight come out here.
Yeah, that's going to be a knock-up into the Frozen Tomb. Crossman gets bopped back, and he is going to be bleeding out. That's going to be a shutdown. Rift 4-0. The arrow does stun him in place as the Rift now looking to get himself another kill with the Q. Hadlo is able to take it. Now Aaron turns it onto Akasune. Akasune very, very low. Has got the help of Fax, but Monkeys gets the stun, forces the cleanse out, and nobody else falls down.
Yeah, Wind and Rain opting to go for the cross-map play onto the Herald. They forgot, though, Rift does have teleport. He joins the fight, and it goes disastrously bad for the Wind and Rain side.
Kerberos needs to make some kind of a miracle happen as he is just bleeding out as Fax, actually.
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
He looks like he might be in a bit of trouble here. Hasn't got a 4 sharp, and Eren just splats him down. Has finished up that Luden's Echo.
I mean, there's so much burst from this Gragas Azir combo. They have Luden's Echo, and
Kerberos?
Yeah, was
about to say
aggressive. No, I do believe it's actually the tank item he has picked up, not the AP. It's hard to tell. The color's so similar. But yeah, seeing a replay from Rift does miss the apprehend, but Kerberos waiting for the opportunity to use the hook shot.
Watch
and
the flash.
Flash with this, just lands everything, and then Kerberos, he knows he's dead.
Didn't even have the max out on the bleed as well. That wasn't even a stacked bleed.
We see this fight come in. They actually try and burst the Gragas, but they can't find him because of Tom Kench. They try and turn on him. He gets the grey health off, and then you see this arrow come in. Ooh, boom, smacks right into Crossman. He's locked up for days, and then they even manage to follow up. And Nulty is sitting there trying to pick up the Rift Herald. That is not the time to do that, my friend.
He had to. Airboys is completely lost.
I feel like it was a bit of a question one. Aaron goes aggressive here, and the amount of burst coming out from this Luden's build is sort of zoned away. But again, we saw Fax die on the back end of that team fight. Things looking very favorable for Enclave now at just under a 2.5k gold lead.
Kerberos continues to split push, has forced Rift under, does have teleport where Rift doesn't, so this is going to be one of the major points. Mountain Break is still up. Wind and Rain have been unable to secure themselves at this time.
I feel like it's one of those situations like, hey guys, I can TP, and it's like, you're alright, buddy, you're 0-3. You can stay in your lane.
He can do something.
You just keep farming.
Enclave looking to secure themselves the first Drake for them of this series. It will be a Mountain Drake as well, so it's a good one for them to get their hands on.
This is something to talk about from Enclave, is they don't put much priority on these dragons. It did backfire in the last game. They do have the control in this game, but again, they've left it very late. I think a big part of that was a lack of bot priority, but even so, 50 minutes for the first dragon isn't too fast. We did see the next one is an Infernal, much more tasty objective, and no doubt Enclave are going to try and secure that one as well.
Who are we watching? Kerberos is obviously, he's fallen apart, but if you're cheering on Wind and Rain, who's the person you want to be watching now?
I think it has to come down from some good flanks from Crossman. The thing is, if you try and CC one person, you're going to struggle because Hados is going to eat them up. You have to get some AoE CC lockdown onto them. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but that's the real potential for them to turn this game round. And they have the follow-up from the Jhin, they have the follow-up from the Zyra. That's their potential to get back in this game. The problem is, I mean, now Kerberos is actually doing alright. He's holding them to lane, but Rift is so scary. He just can't get close to him.
Well, it looks like Wind and Rain looking to force here, using that Rift Herald in the mid lane. Nulty does have the ultimate available. Remember, like I said, the TPs are up, and Kerberos already making his way down. Going to be able to get at least one charge and a bop onto the turret, but Wind and Rain...
It means Rift gets to take this top tower, though. This is a problem. Kerberos can't even stand up to him under tower. That is when you know things are going badly. If you can't hold the tower with it being up, you're struggling.
He's 22 CS off Flame Horizon in Kerberos.
Oh, Ara comes out. Does manage to get dodged away, though.
Looking for the play, but you got to keep your eye on Eren, as Kerberos trying to keep this turret up. Monkey's hanging about as well. Has to be spotted out on a ward, though, as Apprehend goes out.
The one favourable thing in this matchup is that the bleeds from Darius means he constantly takes tower aggro. Not the best person to trade.
Oh, Eren could be in trouble. They're going to go over. That's going to be a Proto Belt forward. Eren cleanses out, uses the Emperor's Divide to force him back, knocking one up with the Zyra ulti. But that turret that Eren put down is just forcing Wind and Rain to fall back defensively.
I mean, it's so difficult. The Tom Kench and the Azir with these cleanses so hard. All right, pressure on.
Kerberos forced the hookshot out, but he goes back into the fight.
This could be
going to be
good.
explosive cast. This is Wind and Rain turning it around. A dunk comes down, but it's gobbled up before the animation comes out. Nolte taking a lot of damage from Bendy, however, and it's just going to be one kill over to Wind and Rain.
Hado is on mission saving Private Rift. He gets him out. The 4-0 Darius and all that shutdown gold is saved, and that's the key thing coming out from that play.
Crossman makes it out of a sliver of health, and like you said, these flanks by Crossman were going to be the major factor there. Comes over the wall with a great Ice Claw and just sets up the team to find themselves one kill. They don't get as much as they wanted, but they don't lose anyone, and they're able to pull back this gold. It's still 4K though, a 4K
3K.
difference. 3K, maths.
Yep. Maths is hard, but it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Got you there.
Yeah. Yeah. I may or may not have just counted that out on my fingers.
Well, we got there in the end. We're learning Spanish, we're learning maths, we're learning everything today. Educational stream.
Learning about Lysandra flanks.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we try and do down here. But again, the big part about that last team fight was it relieved some of the pressure from Enclave. And you actually see Rift might be in trouble here.
He's in trouble. Frozen Tomb pins him in place, instantly stunned up by the hook shot, but he is very, very tanky. A two-man apprehend into the arrow. Rift needs to find the dunk. Doesn't actually have the cooldown. I'm lying, he does. And 4 members are hit. Kerberos says, see you later, mate, Crossman. You're on your own.
They don't
Gonna
want
get
to fight
slowed down.
anymore.
They need to run away. Zakasune now trying to get round to save his laners. They're still alive. They're still going. Kerberos, hook shots over, is looking to get slowed down by the Ian. Bendy picks him up. Crossman's underneath the turret, trying to stay alive, guy. Going golden. Here comes the damage. Here comes Rift. He is unstoppable. And 2 members of Wind and Rain fall while the Enclave turret is shortly answered out.
We saw it on the other side last game, but once again, someone thinks they're bringing their friend to the split pusher. The other team brings more, and Kerberos and Crossman are punished massively for the overextension. They did manage to get that mid tower. On the back end of that.
They just straight up didn't have the damage to kill Rift, who's now picked up a static gauge. That plays infinitely harder now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to accept that Darius is a bit too strong now. You need a team fight where at least 3 or 4 members can hit him if you want to punish him. But the problem is we saw Hado was able to get him out of the sticky situation last team fight. You can viably see that happen again. And if you don't kill Rift quickly, he is going to do so much damage to your team.
And it's hard to kill him when you've got someone like a Jhin, you know, hasn't got constant auto attacks. He's going to be able to fire out and slowly chip down his health, like over like a... It's hard to say because like obviously the Jin's quite bursty, but you want something like an Ashe. You want something that's going to be on hitting.
Yeah, you don't have to sustain damage. The problem is with all the champions across the board from Wind and Rain, they have a set amount of burst. If Fax doesn't have enough damage to kill Rift, he's going to heal up like he did there. Again, it happened with Crossman and Kerberos. They just didn't have the burst to take him down, and it meant he was able to heal up, apply stacks, and turn it round. And that's why you need at least 3 or 4 people hitting him in a team fight if you want to take this raid boss down.
Well, you're saying Aaron's actually picked up a Banshee's Veil as well, so he's really, really investing into the kind of more AP bursty build. But and recognizing that Bendy's going to be that sustained damage.
But also, it just provides so much safety.
They're on a ward. Flash, entangling roots actually don't find their mark. In goes Kerberos. They're looking to find this burst. An Abyssal Voyage will deliver multiple members in. And that will be a Frozen Tomb. Rift gets bopped up. And he is taking 4 shots. It's the shutdown. Kerberos is trying to make his way out as Bendy is firing shot after shot. Hado's able to get it. But in comes Fax. In comes Wind and Rain. It's a shutdown. Fax is finding his opening, and Wind and Rain find themselves free.
But on the other side of the map, the Azir is pushing. Looks like he's going to try and take this inhibitor tower. It's a good team fight for Wind and Rain. But what will they lose?
Aaron's going to get this as well. He actually might just get Kerberos. Turret's going to go down. He's looking for the inhibitor. Kerberos has been forced to go back to base to heal. And Aaron's got the damage to do this.
I mean, yeah, he has so much AP, and with 3 soldiers down, you get that attack speed boost. They're going for the Infernal. Wind and Rain have accepted this loss.
That Emperor's Divide was so good, it just meant Kerberos couldn't actually go all the way. Infernal Drake is picked up by Wind and Rain, but 22 minutes on the clock, and the inhibitor falls down.
We do see that fight that actually doesn't land a CC off the start, and that could have been a big problem. A mistake comes out here. Hado eats up the Ashe instead of Rift, who was locked down, and that means he does end up dying. He isn't able to do much in that team fight. What? Do you have to back off slightly? Bendy putting out a lot of DPS, but then Fax finds his way into that team fight. Crossman's able to force up, and a great 2-man route means the damage is there. Bendy, with the red buff, does manage to pick up that kill on Crossman at the back end. But again, this is a great fight from Wind and Rain, who were 3k gold behind before that team fight. They got a lot of shutdown gold, particularly from Rift on that Darius, who is now Flame Horizon Kerberos.
Oh, absolutely disgusting stuff. Built himself a Warhammer, so I assume that's building towards the Death's Dance. What else would he be buying?
Yeah,
maybe a Ghost Blade.
Maybe an Essence Reaver. I mean, I'd like to say it's probably.
You could actually go Essence Reaver.
You could go so many crazy things.
You're actually not wrong because he ults like multiple times. Oh, it has a cooldown, but like
yeah, but
it means he's able to get those openings. And actually, Enchanted Crystal Arrow backs with a great flashback. Aaron's actually taking a lot of damage from the tower shots here. Turrets going down everywhere for the side of Wind and Rain, and while they had one good team fight, the payoff afterwards is starting to fall apart, and they're just abyssal voyaging straight towards the Baron.
They're just going to start up. They have so much vision control on this blue side of the jungle.
They've been spotted out, though.
They're confident to start up. They think they can get it taken down before the other side gets there. Wind and Rain are coming, though. This could be
That's going to be the curtain getting called, fooling them back, and Wind and Rain able to hold on for now. Rift is here.
Oh,
you need
Rift
to be
can look for a
scared.
flank. He has the blast cone.
He's going over the wall. Akasune needs to make his way back. He's only going to apprehend onto the tank. Nolty jumps away. And nobody has fallen down yet. As actually, Aaron's taking a lot of damage from Akasune.
I was hoping for so much more from the blast cone.
This is a scary place to fight Wind and Rain. This is a chokehold. This is a Lissandra. The flash, the root, the ultis are coming down. Crossman still uses that Frozen Tomb. Going to be able to go out as Hadlow is picked up by Fax. And Wind and Rain look to disengage with one kill.
Yeah, Hadlow the only member to fall, but he has been taken down. And he provides a lot of safety for the Enclave side. Oh, you see the dead frog with his tongue sticking out. What a beautiful sight.
Getting trolled there.
Again, this is not a massive win for the side of Wind and Rain, but it's something. It buys them time, and that's what they need. They constantly have the pressure of Rift split pushing bot. They constantly have the pressure of these super minions pushing the top side. They need to buy time for this goal lead to shorten slightly. Not necessarily in terms of how big the lead is, but the further the game gets, the less relevant it is.
Curb, that is not where you want to be.
Oh, he's out.
Rift has missed way too many apprehends this game. Like, the first few you can kind of forgive, and like, but that was just another one where it's like, oh, if you got that, you would have got a kill.
It's a difficult one because you have to time it. There's a certain timing in which you can cancel the hook shot, so it's quite a difficult one to do in that matchup. But the thing is, if he lands it and cancels it, he is in such a great position.
All right. Okay, he's fine. Even gets actually explosive cast. Monkey's using a
it was
ulti there.
Where the wall was, it wasn't able to pull him back. If they'd managed to kill the jungler, that really could have been the Baron. But Nolty able to pick up that Scuttle Crab. They can't clear that vision, and it means that they know if Enclave are going to start up that Baron. And the thing is, with the Zyra, Jhin, and Lissandra, they have a great team composition to contest a team trying to take that Baron Nashor.
I mean, chokeholds is actually going to be Enclave's undoing here, as you see them get punished earlier. Obviously, Crossman doesn't have that flash anymore. Coming up with a Proto Belt, though, so he does have a way to at least close a small amount of distance. And for the moment, Rift is just keeping Kerberos locked to that bot lane. But remember, both of these top laners have their teleports available. So the option for the plays is to happen. And actually, Kerberos maybe just looking for a play. They're going for the hook shot onto Haddow. Going to get locked up. They're even going to throw down the Hextech Ultimatum. Pinned him in place. A lot of ultis are being burnt here. And Haddow's still alive. Going to be able to get it. 4 ultimates burned. In comes Crossman. In comes the Emperor's Divide. And we still have Rift split pushing away. Crossman forced to go golden. And we don't have anyone else for the chase. In comes the root. Out goes the damage. Aaron's alive. Bendy still able to chase for more. Vax is slowed down. And someone has to answer Rift here, but someone has to answer the minions. They're just going to lose an inhibitor turret.
Yeah, I mean, they really can't stop him at all. It looks like Enclave is going to buy enough time, and that's now 2 inhibitors down. The problem is, this is a bot lane inhibitor. This means it's going to be so easy to pressure that Baron. You don't even need Rift to go bot to provide the pressure. The minions will do it for you. And again, Wind and Rain, they go for the team fight. It starts off okay, but they aren't able to find enough, and what they lose on the other side of the map is massive.
Akasune looking just to clear out some of this vision control that's been placed down at the Baron pit.
Do you see the Death's Dance come out from Rift? So it looks like he wants to go for a bit more survivability. And again, we talked about how Wind and Rain has a lot of burst, but not too much sustained damage. A Sterex and a Death's Dance means you are never bursting this Darius. You need so much damage to take him down. It's going to take all 5 members, potentially, to take him out.
Well, Wind and Rain actually used 4 ultimates to kill Haddow. That's going to be an Abyssal Voyage, actually. Maybe they're looking for a pick on to the Zyra. They don't actually realize that Nolte is over the wall. The rest of the team's starting to come through. Teleport's there. That's going to be a grasping roots, forcing him to go golden. Nolte trying to buy time for the rest of the team to get in. Hookshot's being charged up, and Kerberos goes over the wall. A two-man Emperor's Divide. Aaron's running low. So is Akasune. It's going to be a 3-for-1. Here comes Crossman. Here comes Rift. It's a triple kill.
And it just looked like the fight was all about Rift. He was murdering that backline. He came in, he used his flash, and he took 3 with him. And that might be enough just to end. They have super minions pushing in the bot side. It's only Kerberos available, and this 0-4 Camille isn't going to be able to do very much to stop the Enclave side.
They don't actually have any minions to work with quite yet. The minions are stuck, so it looks like they're just going to look to open the base and crack down the 3rd inhibitor. Kerberos may be trying to stop this, but he's just not going to be able to do so. Rest of the team are spawning up fairly soon, and I think it's do or die if Wind and Rain want any hope of 2-0ing this.
I think Enclave are going to play it smart. They back off. 3 inhibitors down means the tempo is on their side. The minions can push in, and they can easily take a Baron Nashor at any time. The key here is not to rush. If you rush the Baron before the minions push in, that is the only opportunity Wind and Rain have to get back in this game. If you just wait, be a bit patient, the game really is pretty doomed for Wind and Rain.
And the worst thing as well is actually Wind and Rain don't have a bursty Baron, so it's not like they can even catch Enclave off guard here and just quickly rush it. Jhin, like you said, isn't that sustained damage. It's very bursty, it's very short and punchy blows. Not going to be able to take down that Baron very quick, but on the side of Enclave, they've got an Azir.
Yeah.
They've got a Ashe. Barons are going to go down very, very quick.
I mean, Rift might come as well, and he's now a 4-item Darius. He does a fair amount of damage to it as well. And you can see Wind and Rain took the opportunity to contest some vision at the Baron. They now have to back off to handle the minions on the bot side, and this is when Enclave has all the control to start this Baron. There is no chance of them contesting this. Nolte wouldn't even be able to get close for a steal, and this Baron is going to be the death sentence for the side of Wind and Rain. It's now a simple process of pushing the minions waves in, and just here in the end for Enclave, who, you know, we talked about them in game 1. They looked shaky, but they've really come back here.
Well, we are going to see a quick replay before we probably see the final push coming through.
Oh, and he ults the Darius into the backline. This fed Darius, this is not where you want to be if you're Akasune. And the thing is, I feel like Rift doesn't even really need to do much to him. He actually turns onto Nolte, and even though it's a Sejuani, he's very tanky, he just shuts Nolte down, very quickly bursts along, and now is looking for the resets. It's trying to get in the fight. Oh my! One auto and then an ult is enough just to pop Fax, and that's just the power of a 4-item Darius. So fed in this game. There's just really nothing Wind and Rain could do there.
Enchanted Crystallara actually is going to go a little bit wide, but still, when you've got supers and you've got Baron, it feels like it is slowly closing in, and Enclave looking to try and close this game out as these turrets are taking some significant damage. Wind and Rain have to find some kind of miracle, but I don't know if they can.
They have to go for an engage. It's now or never. The game is very close to being over. They have to go for something. But they're just not. They're waiting for the right time. Now has to be it.
That's going to be the Emperor's Divide. Forces them back. Wind and Rain forced to go golden. Crossman ults himself as Kerberos gets the Hextech ultimatum down. Aaron is going to be able to pick himself the first kill up, but that's going to be the flash. That's going to be the dunk cancelled out by the Zhonya's Hourglass. The Nexus is the focus. And at 30 minutes, Enclave answer back. It's one apiece.
And that was a very confident game, particularly coming out from Rift on that Darius. 8-1-4. What a dominant performance.
Yeah.
I mean,
ouch.
Yeah, I sat there just watching it just like, well, Enclave, you know, can't team fight, but War can't play the map. Who'll win? And
I think that's that early game getting shored up. You know, Wind and Rain had a weak early game, game 1. This time, Enclave were able to punish it. They recognized where the weakness was for Wind and Rain, and they just took it to them.
Yeah, and you have to remember that you actually got 2 towers straight away from Wind and Rain because they still won that bot lane. They still had great pushing power there. It just didn't matter because Rift and Aaron did such a good job.
I think Wind and Rain played the old strategy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Unfortunately, that's absolutely wrong. Enclave changed their draft, and they just drafted essentially the same composition. And unsurprisingly, when there were different picks on the other side, you know, we talked about the Sander was a great pick into that Akali, not the Azir. We talked about how the Camille can do great scaling against the Rumble, but not against the Darius. You know, you pick the same composition, you expect it to go the same, but really,
yeah,
didn't.
What happens when you lock a top laner that early as well is you now offered red side 2 counter picks, so it can be very dangerous in situations like that.
Quickly, who do you think did the most damage in the game? Go.
Aaron.
Rift.
Or Rift.
Aaron or Rift? It was Aaron.
Wow.
Boom.
Well, you kind of flaked a little bit there, mate.
No, I said Aaron.
Okay.
I guess he wasn't able to get enough team fights. To be fair, yeah, there was a lot of Pokemon from Aaron. I guess I'm wrong.
Kerberos just a completely different game as well.
Something for Monk is he was actually in that last team fight we just saw the replay of before the end. Not the very final team fight, the one where Rift got the flank. He was level 11, Nulty was level 13, and he was miles ahead in farm, and it felt like really Monkey's just played absolutely for his team throughout. You know, we saw him on this Sunlord Gragas. You have to see these Gragas get a lot of gold on themselves and build AP. He went for the tanky build, and at the end, it surprised me because I saw him going up to Akatsune. He was level 11, the same as the Zyra, despite being a jungler, despite being so far ahead, and he really sacrificed everything to try and punish the side of Winter Rain. And yes, they ended up winning that game, but the question is, if you're looking at this from the point of view of Misfits or XL, assuming Enclave get through this series, you can really think, can we punish this? Can we just pick a farm jungler and just completely take over the map? Or even if Nulty wants to do that in this game 3.
I was going to actually point out that Nulty had some shaky, it was communication issues, I think. Like, there were some weird plays being made by people either near him, and then there were other times where he just went for plays that didn't make sense. I don't know what exactly happened between game 1 and 2, but he did not look the same in the early game.
My assumption is that he had a packet of crisps he was eating. So, like, you click to a camp and you'd be like, and then Costum would be like, oh, I'm fighting, I'm like, get this out of the way, get back on the map.
Is that what you did when you were playing as a pro?
I mean, I've definitely had that issue. I've definitely had that issue.
I play support. I just sit in the bush bot lane and just AFK and let my AD carry do all the work. And I'm like, oh, something going on. Yep, sorry, I was checking Reddit or whatever. That's literally my role.
I'm sure.
Well,
dude,
support is surprisingly easy.
We now learn.
Quote by Ox.
There's definitely a reason why you're here, and not there on the TV.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Well, you know,
Rough.
we didn't see how to Akatsune browsing Reddit.
Words from the gold tube player's mouth.
Well,
Yeah,
this
but, you know,
is getting mean, boys. Let's drag it back a bit.
At least I, you know, I play with all of my heart. I might not be playing quite as well as anyone else, but I'm still playing with all of my heart.
Passionate, and that's the key thing we like to see.
Kick me while I'm down, but I'm still trying, mate.
Yep, and we saw how passionate Kerberos was. Despite being so far behind against Rift, he still decided to play the game and not AFK. So much respect for him.
Flame aside, this time Wind and Rain, you know, had picked lanes which were losing lanes pretty much everywhere around them, apart from bot lane.
Bot lane was okay.
Bot lane
was fine, but like mid losing, jungle was suffering, but I wouldn't say losing, and then Kerberos was getting stomped.
Would you argue that top lane was a losing lane?
I think like a 22-minute Flame Horizon tells you the answer.
This is why I was talking about early locking the Camille and then not banning things like the Darius. You basically open yourself up to being counterpicked, especially when you know Rift is known for his Darius. His win rate on it this tournament, I'd like to get the stat on that because it must be outrageously high. And I question, they must have known that was coming.
I expected, honestly, for Rift to take Darius as the third pick.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. I was like, oh, okay, they'll ban Darius because that's obviously going to be a big problem for Kerberos.
Yeah.
Then they didn't.
And
then he picked it.
I think if you're Wind and Rain in this series, you want to pick dominant laners. That's your option here, because you can see that your early game is a little weak. So if you play someone who has a winning early game, I mean, and you just play towards mid game, because there was some moments where Wind and Rain were looking very good.
I would even argue if they hadn't lost top lane, they probably would have won that game. Like, their team fighting looked a lot cleaner.
I think my advice for Wind and Rain would be pick the better team comp.
Yeah.
Great analysis.
Draft better.
Draft better is what our analysts and our experts are saying. With that, though, Enclave were able to tie out the series. We'll be back after a short break, and we'll be seeing who will be our first team going through to those finals. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you shortly.